With many comments about this game under my Just Cause 3 and Just Cause 4 videos, after all these years, it was finally time for me to go back to the first Just Cause game I ever played, Just Cause 2. Once more, the story follows Rico, and oh my god, who the hell is this guy now, bro? Why the hell does Rico look completely different in every Just Cause game? Like, this is the most inconsistent character design I've ever seen. In this game, he comes to the location of Panau to save it from a dictator's rule. You know, the cookie cutter Just Cause plot. I don't like Rico's voice acting in this game because he sounds like a certified chain smoker.
I'm known to get the job done.
The voice acting overall can be laughable, especially for characters like this right here.
That pig president Pane is always looking for new ways to suppress the people.
Bro, this is a white woman's idea of what a Jamaican woman sounds like. But then again, the game doesn't care much about the story, so neither should you. So let's move on to what you're actually here for, the gameplay. First thing I would like to mention is that this game's traversal makes it a goddamn nightmare to play it with a keyboard and mouse. I swear I was about to quit this shit after the first mission and scrap this entire video because of it, so y'all better pay respects to my controller for saving it. Now actually moving on to the traversal, in this game Rico only has the grappling hook and parachute. Sadly, there's no wingsuit, guys. Even with the tools you do have, you never feel like you have the control you should have. Am I spitting bars or what? Anytime you close the parachute at a height that can even be considered slightly high, Rico immediately enters the freefall animation. This straight up kills the pacing and makes it borderline impossible for you to aim the grappling hook without opening the parachute. Not to mention, the freefall animation and physics make absolutely zero f***ing sense. Like, you can't even tell if you're falling or pseudo gliding. Sometimes you'll be standing somewhere and when you hit the jump button, this dude will straight up start flying all of a sudden. It also keeps resetting the camera to the center, and oh, now that I've mentioned the camera, I just want to praise whoever was in charge of it. Good job, man. You have actually managed to create the toughest enemy in the game, and
it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I'ma be honest here, even if we ignore the fact that the entire time I was playing this game, all I could think to myself was, man, I miss the wingsuit so much. To me, this traversal system just feels so slow and unintuitive now that I've played the later games. Like, even if you don't use the wingsuit in the games that follow this one, they still have a way better movement system than this game. Also, the music in these other Just Cause games isn't even in the same conversation as Just Cause 3's excellent soundtrack. Don't get me wrong, when you're at a high altitude location, it can still be good and kinda relaxing in a weird way, but the sheer sense of thrill that the faster and better traversal system, specifically the one from Just Cause 3 brings, is just far superior than anything that this game has to offer. Like, it's not even a competition, bro. Thank God for the fast travel system. It's still a better traversal system than many open world games, and I can see how someone who's a virgin to the Just Cause series can like this, but nah, man. After playing Just Cause 3,
This ain't it, Chief!
what you're seeing right now is me trying to reach this limo to hijack it for a mission, but I can't because this piece of shit is unbearably slow. So then I just give up and steal a car, and then I was finally able to get to it. This made me realize that this game in particular has more reason for me to use vehicles because the movement system itself is so limited. Now, the vehicles are thankfully alright. There's many different options for you to choose from. Cars have arcadey handling and feel good to drive. Somehow the bikes feel like they handle better here than the later games. Weaponized vehicles like the helicopters are truly a blast to use. Planes and jets have an appropriate sense of speed, but real quick, the best vehicle in the game that made my Indian soul smile from ear to ear is the tuk-tuk rickshaw. We making it out the with this one. Moving on to the combat, let's talk about the gunplay. There are no crazy weapons like the nuke from Just Cause 3 here.
Now I am become death, to destroy worlds.
But you still have all the standard stuff like SMGs, shotguns, RPGs and all. To upgrade your weapons and vehicles, you have to collect weapon and vehicle parts spread across the map. I'ma be for real here, unless it's a linear game, I have never liked this idea of finding collectibles to upgrade stuff. Like, let me earn that progression through some actual fun stuff instead, like the third game. Good thing is, you have the feature of throwable grenades and dual-wielding single-handed weapons because this is a better game than Just Cause 4. I think that Just Cause 2 might have the goofiest gunplay in the entire series because, man, the hit reactions and ragdolls here are pure gold. Holy shit, they're levitating! The sense of impact is amazing, and it's a Just Cause game, so of course blowing up shit is fun. The guns sound powerful and they can genuinely make your enemies question their life choices. Now, because of the traversal system Just Cause 2 has, its combat doesn't have that much emphasis on movement. I mean, of course you need to move to not get hit, but it isn't as much of an essential part of the combat loop as it is in Just Cause 3. The grappling hook pulls enemies rather than reeling you towards them. Aiming weapons from the parachute is a nightmare because of the shitty ass camera I mentioned before. Hijacking vehicles during combat involves stupid ass quick time events. Like, there isn't a sense of seamless flow or synergy between the traversal and combat. The pace of combat is much slower and it stays mostly on the ground. You can perform dodge rolls and actually sprint, which is something Rico's amnesia made him forget in the later games. It can also be challenging as the enemies are fairly accurate and your health doesn't regenerate completely during combat, so you have to use med packs for that. There's more of a run and gun thing going on here. Now, do I think it's anywhere close to being as good as the seamless, fast-paced, thrilling, flowing combat of Just Cause 3? No! But do I think it's still fun and like it for what it is? Which brings us to the open world. Just Cause 2's map was the biggest open world in a game at its time, and it still looks alright. I mean, the textures are definitely muddy by today's standards, and the lighting isn't anything special either, but when you look at it as a complete package, it isn't too shabby at all. Also, can someone please explain to me how a game from 2010 has better water graphics and simulation than a game that came out in 2018? This is one of those games that serves as a reminder of when developers actually used to spend time optimizing their games and their storage size. You corporate meat-riding nerds can give whatever argument you want, but
It doesn't matter!
because the fact that the creators managed to pack this much visual and location variety with dense forests, cityscapes, snowy mountains and all in a game that is less than 5 gigabytes will always be impressive, to say the least. At this particular point on the map, I was like, man, can you imagine scaling this building with Just Cause 3's traversal mechanics? Like, damn, just thinking about it makes me hard. But what do you exactly do on this map? Well, there's the main missions, which are usually alright as they have simple objectives like destroy something or someone, hijack vehicles and usual stuff like that. Even the sort of mundane missions like the ones where you have to protect someone are quick, and even in these ones you are mostly free to fuck around and play in your own way. Something that this console hacking simulator trash should have learned from. You can randomly find and save civilians, but there isn't any reward for it. Challenges here are a nice little distraction, just like your sister. Outposts are here too, and while they aren't anywhere near as good as these, they at least serve an actual purpose, unlike this disappointment right here. And that is because the best part of the game, destruction that is,
Hang in there. Backup is arriving shortly.
is tied to the progression, and you have to cause chaos to unlock missions. Now, in typical Just Cause fashion, there's also the tomfoolery aspect of the game. That dude is in space right now. But man, the grappling hook here is such a joke compared to the later games, it's absolutely jarring. There's only one tether line available, and even that is so laughably weak. Forget the fact that it can't even stop cars. When you attach an enemy to a vehicle, it breaks off in a few seconds and the person despawns. Hell, you can't even use it to bring down structures. Like, why even bother giving the tether feature in the first place? But over here in this fucking game, I'm doing shit like this. And there we go. Playing Angry Birds with a bus. Wait, how did this car explode from that? I also miss being able to do stuff like blowing up bridges. Like, all in all, I was so disappointed with it because this aspect is such a massive part of Just Cause's appeal. Also, I got stuck under the map on multiple different occasions, which made me load up previous saves and cost me some of my progress. Damn, I feel bad for this dude. His homies are gonna think he's fucking crazy or some shit. Now, all of that being said, why isn't this the worst Just Cause game and Just Cause 4 is? Well, there are several reasons for that. 1, the missions don't suck ass and make me want to kill myself. 2, even with less options at your disposal, it is still more fun to play because the developers understood the assignment and weren't lazy while making it. Finally, Just Cause 4 is the only time when this series got worse with a sequel. Just Cause 2 rendered Just Cause 1 obsolete. Similarly, Just Cause 3 absolutely destroyed Just Cause 2 by being better in every way, shape and form. But Just Cause 4 shit itself, ruined everything that made the previous game special and killed the entire franchise. In conclusion, Just Cause 2 is still a pretty decent game to play all these years later, and I don't have any problem with anyone liking it. But there are people who played this game years ago who don't even remember what this game is like anymore, and they still go around shitting on other games in the series and claiming that this is the best Just Cause game just cause of nostalgia. And for them, I just know this video is gonna serve as a
Snap back to reality. Oh.
So is Just Cause 2 anywhere near the level of Just Cause 3? Nope. But is it still better than Just Cause 4? Definitely yes. Now real quick, YouTube thinks that you'll like this video as well, so go ahead, check it out, man. As always, thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you next time.